back to the Functional Coaches Corner. It's just me today. I know John is the brains behind the operation, and he is absolutely fabulous, but he is deeming me with the responsibility to lead this lesson today for you. So let's have some fun. So I'm going to talk more about how you can apply everything that you learn within GHMC into your business and into your coaching practice. I'm going to start with talking a little bit about my background in business, and I'm going to then talk about how we created GHMC and what that has allowed us to do as far as evolve health and performance. And then I'm going to talk about what it has allowed other students to be able to do within their business to make the largest impact possible, not even on other people, but for themselves as well. And I definitely fall into that camp ever since, John and I have been talking and we've known each other for a long time. He's truly opened up the doors to the way that we coach here at Evolve Health and Performance. And we're going to just dive into everything. I'm going to share my secrets with you guys. So get out a pen and paper and just sit back and relax and see what's possible for you. I got into online coaching because I was in sports medicine. I was an athletic trainer. I was a strength conditioning coach. I wanted to be more proactive instead of reactive. And then I started coaching on the side, personal training on the side, and then here we are. So I didn't have a huge background in nutrition. Most of my background was in strength conditioning, was in sports medicine, and everything about nutrition I just learned from myself. I competed in several bodybuilding shows, so that taught me a lot about nutrition. I got a specialized nutrition certification because I felt like I really needed that, which was actually extremely helpful. But as I started coaching more and more clients, I realized that I did not know as much as I needed to about more complex cases. I remember I had a athlete who signed on with me. I actually used to coach him in person. He was an MMA fighter. And I remember we were on the phone. He's like, I have Hashimoto's. And I'm like, what's that? I was so embarrassed that I told myself I would never feel that way again. So I started learning more about advanced nutrition, lab work, all of that. It's very overwhelming. You feel really good about thermodynamics. You feel really good about macros. You feel really good about food quality. And now you're diving into lab work, hormones, digestion. It's a lot. And so I want to just normalize that. It's okay to feel a bit overwhelmed because there's so much information out there. And you also don't know who you want to listen to. And you also don't want to overload your clients and overstimulate your clients as well with all the information. That's definitely what I did at the beginning. When you're first learning, you're learning all these things and you're just essentially like looking for problems to solve. And it can become, you can get in the weeds from that. Then I really struggled with my hormones, with my gut health. I had a really significant life stressor happen to me and I gained, I don't know, probably like 15 or 20 pounds kind of overnight with stress. I had lifelong gut issues, but I just, lived like this because I thought it was normal, as most people do. So I was talking to him and he actually helped me through a lot of that. He helped me through a lot of my hormone stuff, my gut stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my athletes in Evolve need to know about this. So we would bring John on and he would run Dutch tests and GI maps for our athletes. He was helping them through that. Light bulb went off. And I'm saying, you know what? More people need to know about this because I am having athletes see results in their physique for the first time since I've been coaching them. And it's not for the lack of I didn't know how to coach and train them, but they just needed that deeper level of care that I just did not have the knowledge to do. And so my world opened to gut health and hormones early or late 2022 into 2023. And so John is, Kayla, you can learn how to do all of this. You can help your clients through this. And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, I can teach you. I can mentor you. So he was mentoring us and he came, I'll never forget this meeting. We met and he was like, hey, I'm really seeing a need for something like this in this industry. And we were talking about how coaches needed to go a level deeper, needed to understand gut and hormones and lab work, but in a way that wasn't overwhelming. Because at this time, there were some courses out there, but feedback that because I did a lot of market research before starting GHMC, and feedback that I got was, I feel like I didn't learn anything because it was so overwhelming. It was so overwhelming. I feel like I have to constantly go back through the content. Nothing actually stuck. It was a big group of us, so I didn't feel like I got my one-on-one questions answered. And me and John were like, how can we solve this problem? How can we make things easier for people and less overwhelming? If you've listened to any of these YouTube videos, you know that John does a phenomenal job of helping you understand really complicated topics and subjects just by the way that he teaches. He's so fantastic at that. I've had other mentors and I'm like, are you speaking English? Like, what is happening? But John does a really great job of analogies and real life examples and just making it so accessible for us as fitness coaches, not scientists, not PhDs. Him and I were talking about, let's create mentorship. Why can't we create a mentorship? It was go time. We made this course. We started marketing it. He really wanted me to help with the marketing side of things. And then obviously I needed his brain. So we came together and we created GHMC, the Gut and Hormone Mastery for Coaches. We say gut and hormone because most things start with the gut and even hormones. And so as a coach, hearing that, oh, I can help my clients with their gut and hormone issues or concerns and help them through those things, that's going to cover it for me. Not diagnose, not give medical nutrition therapy. We really made sure to not jump into that side of things, which I know a lot of coaches get concerned. That's one of our biggest questions is how can we do this within our scope of practice? Very easily. There's coaches out there who are going over their scope of practice. And I mean, not to say that that is right, but there's no reason why you can't do this within your scope of practice. Let me just say that. So last GHMC was born. My business, my coaching company is Evolve Health and Performance, where functional health meets high performance. We work with athletes, former athletes, fitness coaches, and the way that we operate now versus even just 4 years from now is so different. We have been able to help a wider variety of people with more specific cases, people who we would have turned away. So our revenue has increased, just clout in the industry has increased, results, our retention, our referrals. There is no way, just with how the industry has changed over I've been in the industry a long time. I'm seeing the change from 2023 to now. Everybody and their mom is online fitness coaching. Everyone is. So this diving into gut and hormonal health has made Evolve stand out in the space. And we haven't really struggled with lead generation. We have ebbs and flows, as all businesses do. Actually, we were struggling. And then when we put gut health, hormonal health into our offer and into our marketing, holy shit, I went from nervous to chillin'. And it was amazing because we were just able to offer people a higher level of service. And now somebody's on Instagram, they're watching what we're talking about. They're like, holy shit, Evolve actually can help me. I've been thinking about joining Evolve, but now that I know they actually go a level deeper and I've been wanting this, so now they're for sure what I need. This happens to all of our students in GHMC. It's so fun to watch. It's so fun. I am very big in the business mindset and I love business coaching and I love talking about offers and marketing. And, if you ever do GHMC or if you've ever been on a GHMC call, you know that light up about this because it is so possible. And I see it. We have had 4 cohorts. We're doing our 5th one, April 6th. And I've just seen every graduate who's taken this and applied this just do so well within their coaching and business. And it makes me so happy. The industry has changed, y'all. Nobody is hiring vanilla-ass fitness coaches anymore. I'm just going to be honest with you. People want to know how you can help them specifically with what they have going on. If you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. And I have had people being like, well, I don't want to only work with people who have gut and hormonal issues. Heard. I understand. Same. But I would rather have the knowledge, have the tools, talk about these specific things every so often, and bring people in for what they think they need and give them what they actually need. What do I mean by that? Sometimes people aren't problem aware that they have, internal issues and they think that everything's going to be solved by just eating less, moving more. And sometimes it is. That's still a very real thing. Your whole brand and your whole marketing scheme does not have to be gut and hormonal health. But if you offer it, people eat that up. They love it. Does everybody need testing? Does everybody need a GI map? Does everybody need a Dutch test? No. But if they come in saying, yeah, like my habits aren't great, but my hormones are effed. Cool. Like, let's test your hormones and let's get you on the right track. And what I'm going to do with them as far as hormonally and gut wise, maybe a little gut is a little bit different, but like hormonally, isn't going to be too different than a really intelligent coach setting them up on a really good macro recommendation, really good strength training, really good habits and consistency. But the difference of why they signed on with me versus you is because I actually talk about that's the big difference. I'm really passionate about you need to show people your skills and social proof of doing these things because a lot of people aren't problem aware that it's only their habits that are screwing them up, that there's something deeper. And a lot of people believe that. And that's also true for the most part as well. Nowadays, it is harder to get clients, it is harder to get leads. And I will say, early 2026, we don't have to sign as many people as we did back a few years ago to make more money. What do I mean by that? If we bring on 10 people in a month, we are making the same revenue, if not more, than what we were making bringing on 20 people. How do you think I feel now, stress wise, now compared to then? When I had to fulfill all of these roster spots, when I had to spend a ton of money on ads, when I had to be on sales calls all day, when I had to bring in 20 people to make it make sense for us to scale as a business. What do you think my stress levels are now when I can bring on like 8 to 9 people for the same price, if not more? I'm chilling. A lot of coaches are stressed because either they're charging too little and so they're having to do a ton of work, or they just aren't sticky enough in their messaging and even on consult calls. So those leads don't feel like that you can help them. So yeah, we see our students really crush it as well. Our cohort is 12 weeks. And over the 12 weeks, we've got 2 support calls a week. So 2 60-minute support calls. You get a WhatsApp chat. You have access directly to me and John's. Also, with these other mentorships, you're on in annoying Facebook groups or Slack channels or all that. Me and John are very simple. Okay. Like, we're very simple. And that's why we don't take on a ton of people per cohort because we want y'all to have that individual feel. We want everybody to feel confident in the 12 weeks. And they do. These students are able to do full write-ups of lab recommendations or lab findings. And they're able to put one foot in front of the other and really connect the dots and change lives in a way where they could not earlier. They're not turning away people who they felt like they couldn't help. They're not outsourcing. Oh my gosh, this is a huge one. This absolutely kills me. If you are paying somebody to read your client's Dutch test, GI maps, lab work, what are you doing? Spend that money, invest into yourself so you can do it, so you can charge more and you can bring in more revenue. You are pissing money away. If you want to create the biggest impact possible and change the world, it starts with you. It starts with your learning, what you're not learning, what you're marketing, what you're not marketing, how you're speaking on consult calls. If you're so worried about just getting the sale, you're not going to get it. But if you really sit down with the person and get to know them and really understand where they're coming from and offer them a solution they have never seen before, game over. That's how you make the biggest impact. We get the most referrals in Evolve from the athletes who we are doing this deeper level of work for. So gut health, hormonal health, those are where we get our referrals. I used to struggle with the referrals in Evolve, if I'm being honest. I never understood how we had great results. We had a great community, but like we weren't getting a ton of referrals. And I never understood why. And now I understand why. It's because, yeah, like we were helping people with their physique and their performance. But when you can change somebody's life in a deeper way, they become a raving fan and they shout it from the rooftops. It takes a different level of coaching to truly change somebody's life and say, I have always had gut issues and now I'm feeling so much better. And now I'm able to keep my weight off. I'm able to keep my physique. my physique goals come easier now. It's just so life-changing. So that person becomes a raving fan, and then they can't not shut up about you. I want that for you. I want people to not shut up about you. The world needs good coaches, because I will tell you, there are coaches out there who really do not need to be doing this. And they're out here making 7 figures. And that should piss you off. There are coaches out there who don't know more than you, but because they're better marketers and maybe better salespeople, and they're very confident in what they do, they're making 6 figures and you're over here struggling. That should upset you. And what we can do about that is we can get really passionate about what we do and about who we help and about what we help with, that you also cannot shut up about you. That's what I want to see too. I want to see that level of confidence. And that's what we see a lot with our GHMC students. Not only do we see them become so skilled and they're able to apply their knowledge, and me and John, every cohort are like, holy shit, they're just so good. They're so good. I love seeing the confidence that comes with it. I love seeing every student get on their story about just how passionate they are about helping through gut and hormones, and even like the wins that they've had through that. That's the stickiness that people want to see. So within GHMC, you also, which I think no one else does this. Nobody else does this, but I think it's a requirement, truly. And obviously John agrees. We actually give you your own GI map or Dutch test or lab work when included in your mentorship fee. So people buy from who they like and want to be like, and who they're watching and saying, oh my gosh, I want to be like them, or what are they doing? That's like 90% of why people sign up with you is you. So if you can walk the walk and show other people what you've got going on and what you're going through, game over. I will say that was a huge thing. I had that big transformation in 2023. So if you don't know me and you don't know me back in that time, I do have a lot of posts about it that are pinned, but I struggled so much with my gut and hormonal health. And even John will tell you, my physique transformation and mental transformation all of 2023 was so crazy that we just signed, like, truly didn't have to get on sales calls. People were like, how can I do this? How can I pay you? And I'm not saying that to boast. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that because it's just so freaking possible. And I just get really fired up about it because I've seen that with our students as well. So if you can be able to understand your own gut health and your own hormones, you're going to be able to teach it better. You're going to be able to talk about it better. I mean, you guys know that. Like, imagine you're a fitness coach and you don't train. How are you gonna write a program? How are you going to do any of that? It's the same principle with this as well. So that's why it's so important that you have your own test, because we've thought about like not offering that, but then it's like, this is our value. Our value is it starts with you. And I don't want to compromise that. This is where the industry is headed. Like it or not, 8 out of 10 women have a diagnosed hormonal issue. 6 out of 10 people have a digestive issue. It's wild out there. And even if you're bringing somebody on for run-of-the-mill fitness and nutrition coaching, what happens during their time with you if gut issues come up, if hormonal issues come up? Will you be equipped to handle that, or will you have to outsource and spend money on doing that? Why not invest into yourself and invest into your business and your growth? I mean, you really owe it to your clients and your future clients to do this for yourself. Yes. So in March, we are running a 3-day masterclass, March 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And we ran this last year, and it's truly an inside look as to what it looks like to be a GHMC student. We go over lab work, we're going over client cases. It's pretty heavy lecture based on the first day, lecture/questions on the second day, and then Wednesdays very much coaching application. So you guys will love it. So stay tuned for signups for that. We'll start getting signups probably 2 weeks out from there. And then we're going to roll right into enrollment for cohort 5, which is so crazy. And that will go 12 weeks. So April 6th, and 12 weeks from there will be the end date. And also too, the cool thing is that if you're NASM and AFA certified, this goes towards CEUs for that too. So you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this was inspiring. I hope that you feel fired up after listening to this of just like what is possible for you in your coaching career. I obviously am very passionate about this because the world needs good coaches to succeed. The world needs fantastic, great coaches to stand out amongst the noise and help more people. More people now than ever have had bad experiences with coaches who feel helpless, who feel scared to invest into themselves again. And it sucks. I want you to be that coach for them. It's just so life-changing. And that's why you get into this in the first place. Anyways, we'll see you on the next one, guys. Again, subscribe to us if you like our videos. John will be back next week, and be on the lookout for that masterclass, and talk soon.